So here's the scoop on Flowers. This is the latest album by Durand Jones and the Indications. It's a return to classic, mature soul with lush strings. You got horns all over this joint, heavy on the bass, and generally laid back grooves. It is the epitome of grown and sexy music. Think mid-tempo, heartfelt lyrics, romantic moods, maybe a little disco recall up in there, but always it's always rooted in vintage soul. It was dropped on when was this thing dropped? June 27th. Yep, June 27th. It's about 40 minutes. We got 11 tracks on this thing. This was self-produced um in the looks like the it was self-produced and primarily recorded at Guitar Blake Rain's Chicago studio. The album is very well produced. It's not overly ornate. It's not it highlights vocals very well. It even like the groove is so smooth you can lose the details of the instrumentation because it's just that smooth because but the vocals are just so like they're haunting, they're reflective, they're airy, they're breathy. It's almost like a like therapeutic, right? That's happening. Um but it's plush. It's just a delightful listen. The ballads are just like a pleasure to listen to and just like it gives you it gives you kind of like hope in the world. Like does it still like hope for music, like real freaking singing, real ballad type of thing. This track, Flower Moon, so this is one of these mid-tempo joints. It really highlights Aaron Fraser's falsettos. The lyrics, go into the motif of the whole flowers thing. It smells so sweet when love is in bloom. And it's a lot of growth and a lot of bloom that's happening in the album, but there's also a lot of like, some um regretful memories also, right? So really want to be with you. This one is a bop. It takes like this that disco influence I talked about earlier, but more into a little bit more of a deeper, personal space. It's channeling nostalgia. It is, um, it's like a mature reflection that runs throughout the album, and like this is like the anchor stone of that whole thing. And shout out for saxophone solos. Saxophone solos. There's like we back with the saxophone. That's what you're gonna get from soul. You're not gonna. There's not a lot of spaces that's gonna leave that open. I mean, I think R&B used to do a little bit of that here and there. You might have had some collabs, but like a saxophone solo was the last time you heard that? Like on a new project. Not that you listen to some old school stuff, but like on a new project having a saxophone solo. So sh shout out to that experience. That was dope that they added that little flair into the mix. But the track that I can't stop playing that just like Rust and Steel. Man, Rust and Steel. It's the ninth track on the joint. So again, how many like yeah, so 11 tracks. I had to wait. I had to wait. You know what catches me sometimes with some albums I listen to is that they'll put a track like this, number three or four on the project. And I be getting stuck. I'm one of those people that I will put that bit on repeat and I will listen to that joint for hours on repeat. And there's albums that took me so long. Like there's like 30-minute, 40-minute albums that took me probably like 4 or 5 hours to listen to because I'm stuck on one song. And they got me with this joint, but they they must have met my copy before because they put that joint nine, so 9 out of 11. If they got me with this joint on track two or three or something like that, like I probably would still be listening to that joint and never get to the rest of the freaking project. That happens. I get so stuck on a song sometimes. I just like, man, everything about this song is amazing, and it's like lightning in the bottle kind of thing. Like if you're really, I'm no musician, but I'm a fan, right? And I love music, and some of these details that I see, you know, with the choreographed dance and the planning and the logistics and to get everything together to make a particular sound, and then a song from top to bottom. This joint is um how long is this joint? 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Man, I listened to freaking, oh my God. I don't want to, like, I love Slick Rick, but I listened to that project, and the joint was undercooked. It was
This is
undercooked,
culturally
bruh. Like, I
inappropriate.
was
This is
so looking
culturally
forward to that joint.
inappropriate.
They had a decent rollout too with it. Um, and like there was he had one verse on every song, just one verse. There there might have been a chorus. Yeah, there's like a verse and chorus, and the chorus plays once. These songs are like, go back and look at that joint, man. It's like 2 minutes long. A song, a whole song, 1 minute 45. Bro, you ain't done cooking, bro. What you doing? And like maybe you do that for an interlude or something like that. But nah, man, they over here they letting this joint flesh out. We got a 5 minute joint. You got a 3 minutes and 30 second joint. 4 minutes. Let's look at this. Just a 4 minute joint. They got a 5 minute joint. They got another. I need the answers is over 4 minutes. Flower Moon over 4 minutes. Really want to be with you over 4 minutes. Rust and Steel, damn near 5 minutes, and a bunch of 3 minute 30 second songs on here. Like you gotta let that joint flesh out. I've listened to projects where they had 7 minute joints on that joint. Of course, if you listen to like Pink Floyd or something like that, or even but like um who got that seven? Who's the Jimmy Eat World, right? And if you really lock into a track, and it gets to the point. I say like this for artists that have live bands in their recordings, man. If y'all jamming, man, let that shit ride. Let that shit ride, and at least keep that bit for the hard drive, cause we gonna need that re-release in 10 years or something like that, man. Cause some of these tracks are like amazing. Rust and Steel, I feel like it could go on forever, forever. This joint is emotional and sonic like mastery of the art. It opens up with a striking, compact intro with just the core, the choir, broken heart, broke down wheels, bitter love, rust and steel. It's setting this tone of emotional breakdown because they go through the whole extended metaphor of a relationship falling apart, but like an old car falling apart, right? And they just like live in that space. From the very first verse, they reminisce about turning heads in the early days. The line goes, "Candy apple red with the leather top." You saw something like that, just shiny leather top, just like boom in your neighborhood, just like clean. You stop and look, you turn heads, right? So this is like this um beginning of the relationship where people stopping you even sometimes like y'all look great together. Oh, I love y'all energy, right? Just like strangers, even, right? Um, but as time wore on, beauty faded, and the paint began to fade, and there's just like tears and smoke were left behind. The chorus repeats the core metaphor of the brokenness. So I mentioned like, um, broken heart, broke down wheels, bitter love, rust and steel. I love and it's drawn out. Bitter love. They let that go. And then rust and steel. And they just tease it out. And they just tease it out. It's just like the perfect rhythm to add to the how you want the listener to experience the the wrenching, fading, and deterioration of this relationship, of this car, of this thing. Um, the chorus repeats, and then like so we find then the narrator is like stuck on the side of the highway, car broke down, and just nostalgic about when that time when you was turning heads, that past love. Oh, he goes, in my mind you'll always stay, but now we take our separate ways. Ending with an echo of morality and decay. This ashes to ashes. There was a part that says ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And then at the end of the song it's ashes to ashes, rust to rust. That's freaking poetry, man. Come on. And the fucking to close the loop on that too? To close the loop on that whole thing. Man, if you're looking for um classic soul with like a little bit of a modern twist, but like just some smooth vocals and just like something that's anchored in that keeps the ethos of soul music, new soul music. We ain't talking about some old artists that you used to fuck with back in the day that just like you know put out a cash grab or something like that. We're talking about like a new artist putting out new music with new songwriting. Flowers is a standout if you're looking for some for that soul itch, scratch that soul itch. Their last project was in 2021, so 4 years of this being in the lab, you know what I mean? Shout out to them. It was worth the wait. It's romantic, it's atmospheric, there's emotional depth on this thing. It's a soundtrack for anybody going through some tough lessons. You going through the tough lessons. You've dusted yourself off. At least you're back on your feet. You take a second. You have some reflection. You do the growth, the real work. Um, and then you bounce back. You bounce back, baby. Right? It's all in there. It's all in there. It's so all intentional. All those experiences. It's the soundtrack for that. You may be in any one of those stages. There's a track for you on this project. It's really made for maybe a cozy evening alone. It just sounds so good. I feel like you want to share it. You're gonna want to share it, even with maybe share it with your partner, as in like um, kind of like the Ghost of Christmas Future kind of situation. It's a project full of growth. I mean, flowers after all, right? With the theme of it all, it's mature, it's confident, um, but it leaves you with hope. It does leave you with some hope. Um, flowers. I see flowers. When I come across flowers, I see them as symbolically as like spring, and even if it's not a spring, but it's like it feels like spring. It feels like new. It feels like growth, especially like when you run into a flower. Okay, so man, I still geek out when I have like a new flower in my garden, like that was not expecting. When something blooms, I stop. I take a picture, right, and I post it and stuff. And so it's like flowers. Flowers present an opportunity. I I'm trying to get pollinators in my yard because I'm trying to grow pumpkins for Halloween, and the flowers bring the pollinators, and they look great, and they look amazing, and they look unique, and it's an opportunity to like stop and check in and appreciate these like little things. I play this game called Grounded, and it is it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and so you go through that universe kind of if you imagine, and you're in the backyard, and it has me reflective because like see like getting down low, getting down in the dirt. I mean, I'd be gardening, so like I'd be down there. Just the little universe that's down there. There's bugs. It's teeming with life. The flowers, you notice the different shapes and like what's the difference between this petal and that petal in a unique in the same branch, and it's like what's going on? What do I need to do to like make this one thrive? But it's all an opportunity for the pollinators, and an opportunity for me to just like stop and smell the roses.